To start with a scandal over COVID-19 vaccines in Shelby County. As a city council member fights to get the health director fired, a county commissioner says city leaders need to butt out. The back and forth is over revelations that the health department let thousands of COVID vaccines expire and they stockpiled thousands of others.
In the meantime, several are playing the blame game. Fox 13's Jackie Massey is live downtown. Jackie, you found out county commissioners are meeting tomorrow trying to get their own perspective on what went wrong here.
Daryl, that meeting will include the county mayor and the health director. And Commissioner Van Turner says any calls to fire the health director are political. And he questions why a city councilman is overstepping his authority when the county mayor is the only person who can fire the health director.
If you are concerned about the issue and not concerned about politics, you would wait to see what the full investigative report says before you go into this process of early condemnation.
Shelby County Commissioner Van Turner says he too is concerned about how thousands of doses were allowed to expire, but he wants to hear all the facts first. Turner says he hopes to get answers at Friday's meeting with Health Director Lisa Haushalter and the mayor. Then once the conversation is over, commissioners can talk about next steps.
And I don't want to rush to a decision. I understand that people are attacking Mayor Harris, people are attacking Director Haushalter, people are attacking Shelby County, and they may not have all the evidence.
Meanwhile, City Councilman Chase Carlisle wants Director Haushalter and her leadership team gone. He says this is a life or death situation because we're talking about life-saving vaccinations that expired and others stockpiled under the health department's watch.
The entire distribution of the vaccine under the Shelby County Health Department has been an utter mess, and we're the logistics capital of the world.
Director Haushalter did not comment on Carlisle's resolution. She did, however, talk about her mistakes during a panel discussion.
As far as whether leadership is a distraction or it as an addition, really is a conversation generally between myself as well as the mayor.
Overall, it's a pretty divided issue, but Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris is the only one who controls whether Director Haushalter is fired or not. Van Turner emphasizes we still need to figure out when the vaccine distribution issues first started.
I'm all about getting this process worked out. If terminations need to happen, so be it. If processes need to be improved, we need to have that happen. But definitely, if we don't have a report to operate from, how can we do any of that without the actual report in hand?
The county commission meeting will take place tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon, and the county mayor and the health director are expected to make presentations. And of course, those commissioners will have lots of questions. I'm told the state was invited as well, but we're not sure if they're attending yet. And again, we will be at that meeting. We'll be giving you the latest updates. Reporting live downtown, Jackie Massey, Fox 13.